President Reagan was departing the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. on March 30th, 1981, following an address to 5,000 AFL-CIO members. As he acknowledged the crowd, John Hinckley Jr. discharged a .22 caliber revolver loaded with Devastator rounds toward the president and those protecting him. While initially appearing unharmed, Reagan had been struck under his left armpit by a bullet that ricocheted off the presidential limousine. The injury only became apparent when he began coughing up blood, leading to his urgent transport to George Washington University Hospital. The attack also resulted in injuries to Press Secretary James Brady, policeman Thomas Delahunty, and Secret Service agent Timothy McCarthy. Hinckley fired 6 shots in total during the assassination attempt. 2 rounds struck the presidential limousine, with one ricocheting into the president's left side. This bullet grazed a rib and came dangerously close to his heart, while another round shattered a window across the street. As the presidential vehicle sped away, Special Agent Dennis McCarthy acted instantly, leaping toward the gunman to neutralize him. President Reagan returned to his duties at the White House following 12 days of medical care. His recovery was marked by a newfound commitment to reshaping the diplomatic ties between the United States and the Soviet Union. There were no miraculous claims of healing or attempts to use the event as political leverage against the public. The lack of such sensationalism ensured the American people never had reason to doubt the authenticity of the attack. Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest by John Schrank in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on October 14, 1912, prior to a campaign engagement. His life was spared when a steel eyeglass case and a 50-page manuscript in his pocket absorbed the bullet's momentum, enabling him to speak for 84 minutes despite his wound. During the address, he famously proclaimed that it would take more than a bullet to finish off a bull moose. As Roosevelt prepared to depart his hotel for a scheduled address, Schrank discharged a handgun at point-blank range. Though the projectile became embedded in Roosevelt's chest, it fortunately missed his vital organs. Rather than seeking immediate medical attention, Roosevelt was adamant about proceeding to the Milwaukee auditorium, famously remarking to his aide, "He pinked me, Harry." It was only after concluding his remarks that he was transported to a medical facility. Upon examination, physicians determined that leaving the bullet in his chest permanently was the safest course of action. This video is sponsored by the like button. Click below to find out more. Various conspiracy theories have surged into public discourse following the third assassination attempt on Trump since the start of his campaign for the 47th presidency. Such speculation is unsurprising given the current political climate, and notably Marjorie Taylor Greene questioning the details of the initial attempt, which could be viewed as an apparent effort to overshadow ongoing failures in Iran with new developments. Some influencers and members of the media have gone on record to call the shooting staged or a false flag. The APORC poll recently reported Donald Trump's economic approval at a mere 33%, a figure more dismal than Richard Nixon's standing upon his resignation. These record low approval ratings, leading into the White House Correspondents' Dinner, are now being highlighted as potential evidence fueling various conspiracy theories. Even more concerning is the immediate push for building the ballroom and relating it to security measures to thwart future threats, accompanied by demands for the financially burdened American public to foot a $400 million bill. This is not normal. With all of this conjecture, it would be useful to view the verifiable facts. So let's run through them quickly. Here are the key points that outline the several discrepancies regarding the incident. Contrary to public perception of a close encounter, the purported shooter actually stayed outside of the established security boundary and was at a significant distance from Donald Trump. In a move that contradicts standard operating procedures, no designated survivor was actually assigned during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Reports indicate the Secret Service prioritized the protection of J.D. Vance over Donald Trump. 30 minutes after the event, Trump held a press conference to demand the Golden Ballroom, and then to say, well, this isn't going to impact the fact that we're still going to win the war in Iran. The swift transformation of this incident into a political tool was unsettling, facilitated by the same fawning media outlets that support him to broadcast further propaganda to the American public. The decision to host the White House Correspondents' Dinner within the White House itself undermines the event's fundamental purpose, demonstrating the press's autonomy. Instead, the occasion is being exploited for individual and partisan advantage, with the media complicit in a strategy that serves these political ends. Furthermore, accusations have emerged that hold Democrats and other critics accountable for the outbreak of violence. Media personalities aligned with Trump are now characterizing any speech critical of the administration as a primary catalyst that drove the assailant to act. One might posit that public awareness of the incident proves the security infrastructure functioned as intended. However, video evidence suggests the assailant was only apprehended after stumbling. The extent of the potential threat remains unknown, as the intervention appears to have been the result of the perpetrator's own lack of coordination rather than a deliberate security maneuver. Ultimately, the widespread public doubt regarding this assassination attempt is well-founded. The documented evidence fails to provide a cohesive narrative, and the behavior exhibited by Trump deviates significantly from the conduct historically observed in other presidents facing comparable threats. Eric Ambler said, "The important thing to know about an assassination or an attempted assassination is not who fired the shot, but who paid for the bullet." That's all for this week. Until next time, remember, silence is compliance. Your voice is vital. Stand up, speak out, strike back. They don't know what they started. If you appreciate this content, please like, share, and subscribe. For more updates, ring the bell. Your support truly helps the channel.